friends, how are you? Myself, Mr. Narendra Jangle from Gokhale Education Society's R.M. Bhatt High School, Parel. Welcome students. Today, we are going to study the basics of practice set 3.4. You know student, we studied that 3.1, 3.2 and 3.3. Practice set 3.1, 3.2 and 3.3 from this third chapter, Circle. Now, we studied the basic and the practice set at the same time. But if we observe practice set 3.4, then in practice set 3.4, so many basics are there required to solve that practice set. But don't worry, मैं हूं ना. So let us see the basics first. So which are that basics? The concept of inscribed angle. Then concept of intercepted arc. We studied that concept in 8th standard. Just we have to revise that. खाली याद करना है, बस कुछ नहीं. Third concept is inscribed angle theorem. Then two corollaries are there of inscribed angle theorem. Then cyclic quadrilateral, theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. Then one corollary of cyclic quadrilateral. Then converse of cyclic quadrilateral theorem and one more corollary. So total 9-10 concepts are there. And if we make the video of concepts, basic concepts and exercise 3.4 together, then it becomes very large video. And that's why I am showing the basics of practice set 3.4 in this lecture. So let us see the first concept. Our first concept is the inscribed angle. So what is that inscribed angle? Here one figure is given. In that figure, one arc AXC is shown by the red color. Arc AXC and angle ABC. These two things, concentrate only on that two things. ये दोनों पे खाली concentrate करना है हम लोगों को. Arc AXC and angle ABC. तो पहले मुझे बताना है. Tell me, what is the vertex of angle ABC? This B. It is the vertex of angle ABC. And second thing, which are the end points of arc AXC? Point A and point C. These are the end points of arc AXC. Now, see the magic. Here, if an arc means AXC and angle are given. If an arc and an angle are given, that means in this figure arc AXC and angle ABC are given, and if that both fulfill these two conditions, अगर ये angle और arc ये दोनों condition complete करते हैं, then we can say this angle ABC is inscribed in that arc. Angle is always inscribed in the arc, not by the arc. Angle is inscribed in the arc. So which are these two conditions? Let us see that conditions. The first condition is the vertex of angle is the point of an arc. यहाँ पे भी एक मजा देखो. This B is the vertex. It is a point of arc, but condition is there, not the end point, means other than the end point, except end point. ये end point अगर vertex end point है, then we can say it is not a inscribed angle. If the vertex is the end point of that arc, then it is not a inscribed angle. That is the first condition. So vertex is the point of the arc, but other than end point. And second condition, if you observe ray BA means side BA and side BC of that angle are passing through each end point of the arc. So second condition, each side of an angle is passing through one end point of the arc. Then we can say, then that angle means we can say that angle is inscribed in that arc. That angle is inscribed in that arc. So in this figure, which angle? Angle ABC is inscribed in arc AXC. So this is the concept of inscribed angle. So students, the second concept is the concept of intercepted arc. Here three figures are shown on the board. Let it be A, this is B figure, and this is C figure. So three different figures are shown on the board. And second thing, angle ABC and arc AXC in figure A. Here angle ABC and two arcs are shown by red color, AXB and DYE. In this third figure, this angle ABC, we are talking about only this angle ABC and this arc AXC. This is the arc intercepted by the vertically opposite angle of ABC, that is arc DYE. So when we can say the arc is intercepted by angle. So here remember, the angle is inscribed in the arc, and the arc is intercepted by the angle. So remember these things. So here the first condition, here if an arc and an angle are given and if both complete two conditions, अगर दोनों ये दो condition complete करते हैं, then we can say that angle intercept that arc. So which are these conditions? The first one is here angle ABC. If we observe angle ABC, then this each side of that angle, these are the end point of arc AXC. So each side of that angle is passing through one end point of the arc. Here each side of that angle is passing through one end point of the arc, here again and here again. So the first condition is each side of an angle is passing through or containing, we can say containing one end point of the arc. And second condition, the points, other points of the arc, means points of the arc other than end points are in the interior of that angle. The points except this end points are in the interior. The points other than end points are in the interior. The points which are other than end points are in the interior. So that is the second condition. So the points other than end points are in the interior of that angle. So the arc which lies in the interior of that angle and the end points are on the sides of the angle, then we can say it is intercepted by that angle. So second condition, all points of an arc other than endpoints lie in the interior of an angle. Then what we can say? Then the arc is intercepted by that angle. The arc is intercepted by that angle. So in this figure, in each figure, this angle, first figure, angle ABC intercept arc AXC. In second figure, angle ABC intercept two arcs, arcs AXB and arc this, sorry here AXC, not a B, arc AXC and arc DYE. Here this ABC again intercept arc AXC. So remember, when the vertex is, what is the difference in three figures? Here the vertex is on the circle, here the vertex is inside the circle, in the interior of circle, and here the vertex is in the exterior of circle. B is the vertex of that angle. So depending upon this vertex, position of vertex, there are the relations between the angle, measure of angle ABC and measure of arc AXC that are not given in the textbook, but we have to use that relations while solving that practice set 3.4. According to me, three sums are based on this relations. So here in our simple language, अगर आप लोगों की language में अगर याद रखना है, what is meant by inscribed angle and intercepted arc. तो inscribed angle हम लोगों ने ऐसा देखा, देखो ये arc है एक और उसके बीच में एंगल. तो हम लोग सिंपली याद रखना है, अगर आर्क ने एंगल को बाहों में लिया है, ये लैंग्वेज में आपको बराबर याद रहेगा. आर्क ने एंगल को जब बाहों में लिया है तब क्या बोलना है? द एंगल इज इंस्क्राइब्ड इन द आर्क. और सेकंड थिंग, जब एंगल ने आर्क को बाहों में लिया है, अगर एंगल ने आर्क को बाहों में लिया है, then we can say the arc is intercepted by that angle. Now we have to study the relations between angle ABC and the arc intercepted by it in this three situation. Three situation means if the vertex is on the circle, if the vertex is in the exterior of circle, and if the vertex is in the circle. So these are the three relations. Now let us see that relations. Let us see the next concept. The relation between measure of an angle, means angle ABC in each case, and measure of an arc intercepted by it. These relations are not given even in 9th standard and in 10th standard, but we have to use that relations. So let us study that relation. So first condition. What is the first condition? The first relation. If the vertex of angle is on the circle. The first condition, पहला condition क्या है? If the vertex is on the circle, ये figure A. So here we can write figure A. In figure A, the vertex is on the circle. Then what is the relation between this measure of angle ABC and measure of arc AXC? So here the relation is measure angle ABC means measure of angle is half the measure of arc intercepted by it. That is the relation. Is it clear? Measure of an angle is equal to half the measure of arc intercepted by it. So here we can write measure angle ABC equals half into bracket measure arc AXC. So this is the first relation. if the vertex is on the circle and if measure of arc AX is given, suppose AX is given 60 degree, then find measure angle ABC. So we can use this relation. Measure of angle ABC is equal to half measure arc AXC, so it is 30 degree. So in this way we can use this relation. The second relation is the second figure, that is the second relation. If the vertex of an angle is in the exterior of circle. So here see figure B. For this second relation, the figure B is there. Here, if the vertex is in the exterior, then remember the angle intersect two arcs, 1 and 2. If it is on the circle, single arc. Inside the circle, single arc. But when it is exterior of circle, it intersect two arcs. So remember this point. So here it intersect which arcs? AXC and DYE. These two arcs are intercepted by angle ABC. So what is the relation? Measure of angle ABC is equal to measure half into the difference between the measure of arcs intercepted by it. So which arcs are intercepted by this angle? AXC and DYE. So difference means larger arc minus smaller arc. So here we get the second relation. Measure angle ABC equals half into bracket measure arc AXC minus measure arc DYE. This is the second relation. If the vertex is outside the circle, in the exterior of circle, then we can use this one. Now third one, if the vertex is in the interior of circle. So third relation, if the vertex of an angle is in the interior of circle. Figure C. Vertex B is in the interior. Then what is the relation? The measure of angle ABC is equal to half into bracket sum of the arcs. Sum of the arcs intercepted by angle ABC and its vertically opposite angle. So this is the vertically opposite angle intersect which arc? DYE. So here we can write measure angle ABC equals half into bracket measure arc AXC plus measure arc DYE. So suppose here measure of arc AXC is given 56, this is given 20, then find measure angle ABC. We get 56 minus 20 and divided by 2, half of that difference. Here this is 56, this is 20, 56 plus 20, then half of that. We get, in this way we can find the measure of the angle and the measure of arc using this relation. So remember these relations. Let us see inscribed angle theorem. This is our next concept. So what is that theorem? Measure of inscribed angle. Here this angle BAC, if you observe, BAC is inscribed in arc BAC. These are the end point of arc BAC, and here it is D. Arc BDC is intercepted by this angle BAC. So here BAC is inscribed in arc BAC and arc BDC is intercepted by angle BAC, then what we have to prove? The measure of inscribed angle, yani measure of angle BAC is half of the arc intercepted by it. So that is the inscribed angle theorem. What is theorem? The statement, remember the statement, the measure of an inscribed angle is equal to half of the measure of arc intercepted by it. That is the statement. Now from that statement, first we have to draw the figure whenever theorem is there, and in this three conditions are given, only we have to write first condition, no need to write the all conditions. Remember this point. So here first draw the circle with center O. Angle BAC is inscribed in arc BAC and intercept arc BDC shown in the figure. Then what we have to prove? Measure of angle BAC, yani inscribed angle, is equal to half measure of arc BDC, means intercepted arc. Now construction is there. Draw this ray AO passing through this center O, which intersect the circle in point E. Here it is E. Then join OA, OB and OC. Now we have to prove this PAC is half ABC. Now how can we prove? Let us see the rough idea, then we write the proof. So here observe triangle AOB. In triangle AOB, can we write this one? OA equals OB. Can we write OA equals OB? Radii of the same circle. That means triangle AOB is which type of triangle? Isosceles triangle, correct. Now in isosceles triangle, you know isosceles triangle theorem, 9th standard, 3rd chapter. So here the base angles are again congruent, means angles opposite to that sides are also congruent. Let that angles be x degree and x degree. Now in 9th standard again we studied which theorem? Remote interior angle theorem in parallel lines chapter. So what is that remote interior angle theorem? So here this is remote interior angle, BOE, remote interior angle. Measure of remote interior angle, measure of exterior angle is equal to sum of the remote interior angles. Now in triangle AOC, same concept. This OA equals OC, therefore let it be y degree, this y degree, so this becomes 2y degree exterior angle. Now let us see the proof. So here in proof, first point, in triangle AOB, this OA equals OB. Reason, these are the radii of same circle, radii of same circle, and OA equals OB. Therefore which angles are congruent? Angle OAB is equal to angle OBA. Which theorem? Theorem of isosceles triangle. So here we write the reason, theorem of isosceles triangle. So we use theorem of isosceles triangle, means if two sides are congruent, then the angles opposite to that sides are congruent. So let this angle OAB equals angle OBA equals x degree, let it be 1. ये दोनों को क्या करना है? x कंसिडर करना है. Now angle BOE, this one BOE is an exterior angle of this triangle AOB. याद करो थोड़ा, 9th स्टैंडर्ड, इसलिए 9th स्टैंडर्ड में अगर अच्छी पढ़ाई की है तो 10th में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आने वाला है. So it is exterior angle, and you know remote interior angle theorem, the measure of exterior angle means BOE is equal to sum of this two, means these are remote यानी दूर, remote interior angle. So here we can write what? Measure angle BOE. Measure angle BOE is equal to angle OAB plus angle OBA, which is x plus x degree. Therefore angle BOE is equal to 2x degree. तो यहाँ पे 1 मत लिखो, let it be 1. So here it is first one. Now similarly we can use the same concept in triangle AOC. अगर AOC में हम लोग same concept यहाँ पे use करते हैं, then we get the same result. COE is equal to 2y degree. We can next step, in triangle AOC, this OA equals OC radii of, these are the radii of same circle. So here this is the reason. Therefore angle OAC equals angle OCA. Theorem of same method, isosceles triangle. Same steps repeat हो रहा है. In book that steps are not given, but I am writing here. Therefore let it be y. Let angle OAC equals angle OCA equals y degree. Then COE is an exterior angle of triangle AOC. Therefore COE is equal to OAC plus OCA, y plus y degree. So COE is 2y degree. Now add this 1 and 2. BOE plus angle COE is equal to 2x degree plus 2y degree. But if you observe the figure, this angle BOE plus COE, this becomes total angle BOC, central angle BOC. So angle BOC equals 2 into bracket x plus y degree. So 2 taken as a common, दोनों में से 2 common निकालो, x plus y degree. So we get BOC. BOC is the central angle and x plus y means, अगर यहाँ पे हम लोग ध्यान देते तो x plus y is BAC. So we can write measure angle BOC means measure arc BDC. Because definition of measure of arc, measure of minor arc is equal to the measure of its corresponding central angle. अगर central angle BOC है तो measure arc BDC is equal to measure angle BOC. So we get here measure arc BDC equals to measure angle BAC, because x plus y is equal to BAC. So divide by 2. So we get angle BAC is equal to half measure arc BDC. So in this way we can prove this inscribed angle theorem, which is very important in all the next theorems and our exercise. So remember this theorem. Let us see the corollaries of inscribed angle theorem. What is meant by corollaries? Corollaries means the properties which we can prove using that theorem. Here these are the corollaries of that inscribed angle theorem, means using the concept of inscribed angle we can prove this corollaries or properties. We can say that sub-theorems. So these are the 2 corollaries. First one is angles inscribed in the same arc are congruent. Angles inscribed in the same arc are congruent. So here this angle ABC and angle ADC both are inscribed in the arc ABC given. Angle ABC and ADC are inscribed in the same arc ABC there. and they intercept which arc? AXC, shaded arc. Then what we have to prove? Both angles are congruent. So here the first step is inscribed angle ABC intercept which arc? Arc AXC in this figure. Inscribed angle ABC intercept arc AXC. So by inscribed angle theorem अभी हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है, measure of angle ABC is equal to half measure of arc AXC. This is statement number 1, and reason is inscribed angle theorem. Now second step, again if we observe angle ADC is an inscribed angle, so inscribed angle ADC, this ADC is inscribed angle and intercept the same arc, intercept arc AXC. The proof is not given in the book, but we have to prove that. So here angle ADC is equal to half measure arc AXC. This is second, and the same reason inscribed angle theorem. So if you observe 1 and 2, right hand sides are congruent, and therefore third step, therefore angle ABC is equal to angle ADC. Their measures are equal. Reason from 1 and 2, and therefore these are congruent. Their measures are equal means angle ABC congruent angle ADC. So in this way we can easily prove the angles inscribed in the same arc are congruent using this theorem of inscribed angle. So here ABC is half AXC, ADC is half AXC, therefore means both inscribed in the same arc and both intercept the same arc. That's why both are congruent. The second corollary is, we are studying the corollaries of inscribed angle theorem. The second corollary is angle inscribed in semicircle. Semicircle means if a chord passing through the diameter, means passing through the center or the diameter, divides the circle into two equal parts. Each part is called semicircle. And if the angle is inscribed in that semicircle, then it is right angle. That we have to prove. So here what is given? This AC is the diameter, means line. Second AC is passing through the center M. That means that second divides the circle into two arcs. First one is arc ABC and second one is arc AXC. Both are the semicircles because this AC, second AC passing through the center of circle, so it divides this arc AXC and arc ABC. Circle is divided into these two arcs. Each is a semicircle, and you know the measure of semicircle is 180 degrees. Circle is 360 degrees. So using that concept we can easily prove. So here inscribed angle ABC intercept which arc? AXC. So by inscribed angle theorem, angle ABC equals half major arc AXC. Here we use the theorem inscribed angle theorem. So by that theorem, measure of angle ABC is equal to half AXC, but AXC is a semicircle, therefore we get half into 180 degree measure of semicircle, so we get 90 degree, means angle ABC is equal to 90 degrees. So in single step we can prove this corollary we have to use this corollary so many times. So angle inscribed in the same, that same arc are congruent. That is the first corollary. And second one, angle inscribed in the semicircle is a right angle or is of 90 degrees. So this is the second corollary. Next concept is cyclic quadrilateral. Here, if we observe the figure, quadrilateral ABCD is inscribed in the circle. Means all the four vertices A, B, C, D are lies on the circle. Then we can say that a quadrilateral is a cyclic quadrilateral. And that 4 points, the points means vertices of that circle which lie on the same circle are called concyclic points. So here we can define this cyclic quadrilateral as if all the vertices of quadrilateral lies on the circle, then the quadrilateral is called cyclic quadrilateral. It is called cyclic quadrilateral. So here, this is the definition of cyclic quadrilateral. If all the vertices, four vertices are on the circle, then it is called cyclic quadrilateral. Now, one important theorem is there. Very, very useful and very, very important theorem. So many times that theorem was asked in the exam. So what is that theorem? That theorem is known as theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. So what is that theorem statement? The opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Supplementary means their sum is 180 degree. So here, this is the main theorem in the cyclic quadrilateral. This theorem is known as theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. The opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Supplementary means their sum is 180. So given, we use the same figure. Here, which angles are vertically opposite angles? This angle ABC and angle ADC. This is the pair of vertically opposite angles. This one and this one, second pair. So this is the second pair. So given quadrilateral ABCD is cyclic. So that is the given. In our activity, the first statement is this one. Then to prove, what we have to prove? The vertically opposite angles are supplementary, means their sum is 180. So here the first that we have to prove is the first pair is angle B, means angle B means we can write angle ABC. So here angle B means angle ABC plus angle ADC is equal to 180 degree. This is the first one. And second one, angle BAD plus angle BCD is equal to 180 degree. That we have to prove. No need to prove both one. Prove the first one and then write. Similarly, we can prove the second one. So this is the method for this theorem. Let us see how can we prove. So this is very, 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 very important theorem. Remember. Now proof. Here if we observe this angle ABC, angle ABC means this one, intercept which arc? ADC. So we can write the first statement, inscribed angle ABC, inscribed angle ABC intercept arc ADC, and therefore what we can write? By inscribed angle theorem, angle ABC is equal to half major arc ADC. This is the statement number 1, and reason is inscribed angle theorem. The reason is inscribed angle theorem. So this is the reason. Second step, use for this angle ADC. So angle ADC, this one, intercept which arc? ABC, the arc which is in the interior of that angle, that is called. So inscribed angle ADC intercept arc ABC, and therefore what we can write? By inscribed angle theorem, what we can write here? Same, angle ADC means measure of inscribed angle is equal to half into bracket measure of arc intercepted by it. This is 2, and here same reason, inscribed angle theorem, same reason we can write. Now adding 1 and 2, we get, add this 1 and 2. So adding 1 and 2 we get. So left hand side is angle ABC plus angle ADC is equal to half into major arc ADC plus half into major arc ABC from 1 and 2. Now half is common, half into bracket major arc ADC plus major arc ABC. But if we observe the circle, major arc ABC, this one, major arc ABC plus major arc ADC, this is the complete circle, and you know the measure of the complete circle is 360 degrees. So half into 360 degree we get 180 degrees. So in this way we can prove angle ABC plus angle ADC is equal to 180 degree. So this first one is proved. We can write similarly angle BAD plus BCD is equal to 180 degree. So here this is the corollary of cyclic quadrilateral theorem. So you know cyclic quadrilateral theorem, opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Exterior angle of cyclic quadrilateral is congruent to the angle opposite to its adjacent interior angle. Now here in this figure, this PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral, and if we extend this side SR, ray SR, then this angle QRT is an exterior angle of that cyclic quadrilateral. This exterior angle QRT, the adjacent interior of this means 1, 2, 3, 4, these are called interior, or a adjacent. Adjacent means जो बाजू में है, having the one side common. These are called adjacent. So this is the adjacent interior of इसका opposite, यानी this one. So what we have to prove? This angle PQRT and SPQ, these are congruent, that we have to prove here. So first step, here if we see angle QRT and angle QRS, which pair? So angle QRT QRT plus angle QRS. This sum is QRT and QRS. This is line ST, straight line, linear pair. So remember this one. So this is 180 degree, let it be 1, and here angles in linear pair, or simply we can write the reason linear pair. Now second, this PQRS is which type of quadrilateral? Cyclic quadrilateral. In a cyclic quadrilateral, what about opposite angles? Angle SPQ and this QRS are supplementary. So second step, angle SPQ plus angle QRS is again 180 degree. This is second, and reason is opposite angles of. So reasons are also very important of cyclic quadrilateral. So these are the opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral. If you observe 1 and 2, their right hand sides are equal. Both the sums are 180 degree. That means both the sums are equal. Therefore, angle QRT plus angle QRS is equal to angle SPQ plus angle QRS. Reason from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, but we can write both these sums are equal. Now cancel this QRS, means equal terms get cancelled from both the sides. So we get angle QRT equals angle SPQ. Their measures are equal, means these are congruent. Angle QRT congruent angle SPQ. In this way we can prove this corollary converse of cyclic quadrilateral theorem. So what is that converse? No need to prove that converse. Only remember the statement of that converse. Converse of cyclic quadrilateral theorem. If a pair, means only one pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is supplementary, means their sum is 180, then the quadrilateral is cyclic. So whenever we have to prove the quadrilateral is cyclic, then what we can prove? Only one pair of opposite angles 180 degree, means supplementary. Their sum is 180 degree. We can write by converse of cyclic quadrilateral theorem, this quadrilateral is a cyclic. This is one, and this second point. Yes, second point. Here 2 points are there on line AB, or it we called is a line L. This is line L, and A and B are the two distinct points on line L. So 2 points on the line L, or 2 points on one line, subtends congruent angles to the other 2 points C and D. Then we can say that ABCD are concyclic. That 4 points are concyclic. That means quadrilateral ABDC is a cyclic quadrilateral. So this is the second condition. So here, dear friends, we complete the basic part for this practice set 3.4. So dear friends, if you like my video, then please press the like button and subscribe my channel, and please share this video to your other friends. Thank you.